What's going on, everyone? I'm G here, Coach Steve's Time, just here for my Week 3 WPPL, or WWPL, Week 3 Team Builder against Trainer Soar, who was a replacement for somebody who I had faced against. And just a little bit of breaking the fourth wall, at least to y'all guys. Um, this person who I'd battled, I believe I battled like a few days ago, maybe like Friday. Like this video I'm making on Monday, but I battled on Friday, and or Saturday, I can't remember. And the day before is when he just joined, and that's how um, cluttered this battle had to become. And also, I did not know that he had made team changes. I knew he made team changes, but I did not get any information on what was changed. So a little bit of this team is different than what I prepped for, and some of the Pokemon I had prepped within this was meant for that team originally instead of the team he created now. And since it was all last minute, I was just fine that he had made the changes regardless of what it could have done, whether I win or lost, but it was just whatever. So I'm just going to go through every Pokemon here. I will say which Pokemon got changed and which Pokemon were still on this team. Well, actually, I won't say which one originally. I'll just carry on, but I won't mention it. But if it's a Pokemon he had changed, then I'll mention it. First of all, he had Dr. Speed, which is a very fast Pokemon, provides him a good utility bond, like leading off with Stealth Rocks, having Toxic Taunt, Thunder Wave, and even if he runs like a little bit of bulkiness, it could be very bulky, like with just the HP and the natural defenses, it could help it a lot. Or if he wants to run anything offensive, it could do a lot on its own, but won't be as defensive as it should be. Next up, he has Sceptile, which he had traded this in for Alolan Marowak, and with Mega Sceptile gave him a very faster Pokemon and offensive hitter to hit, whether it be on physical or special, than compared to Alolan Marowak, which is just a slow, physically offensive, bulky hitter. Than what? So basically, Sceptile did what Alolan Marowak could do, and more. And with Mega Sceptile, it probably provides him a better move pool because he has a little bit of a better move pool, I guess I should say, compared to what Alolan Marowak has. Because Alolan Marowak could probably only run like 6 moves, while Sceptile can run like about 8. Next up, he has Combuskin, which he did trade for his Mega Onino he had. With Combuskin, he now has a sort of speed offensive Pokemon with Speed Boost as his ability. Even though it has this low amount of speed, it gets Speed Boost after every other turn, adding its speed to +1, and then having either like Sword Stance, Home Claws if he wants to boost his accuracy, and Bulk Up if he wants to play a little bit of the physical defensive side, and then have some sort of moves that will hit hard to do more damage. Next up, he has Moltres, which what I see this Pokemon doing is as a little bit of an offensive Pokemon if he decides not to bring Combuskin, but if not, he decides to do that, he would probably just run a defensive set with like Roost, Defog, and Toxic. But that would probably be it. And then next up, he has Drifblim, which I believe he traded for Cacturn he had. And with what he had was Drifblim is a naturally bulky mon with that 150 base defense, or not defense, HP, to where it has a lot of HP to come in and live a hit. And then if he backs it up with like some defensive EVs, whether it be defensive or special defensive, they could probably take a lot. And it has really good usage with its abilities. Aftermath, which if it gets KO'd by a contact move, will take a fourth of the user's health. And Unburden gives it help to sweep because if it loses or item uses it, then speed would be doubled and have a chance to like, I don't know, do some damage to my team while outspeeding. Next up, he has Tentacruel, which gives him a Pokemon that is pretty fast and also has really good Spadef bulk. And usually, a lot of times with Tentacruel, you see it as a defensive wall, having like Toxic Spikes as hazards, Haze to reduce any sort of setup, Knockoff to remove items, and it moves like that. He also has Tentacruel, which provides him a very bulky Pokemon naturally, whether he just has this thing as a defensive wall or a SPDF wall. Hazard generator to help it get back HP when it switches out, and it has a pretty good move pool as far as what it has. Next up, he has Rhydon, which gives him a Pokemon that could be a physical defensive wall, have some sort of offensive pressure, or be a sweeper with it having the ability to have rock polish and doubling its speed. And having a really diverse move pool helps Rhydon out a whole lot. The bad thing about Rhydon is it doesn't get solid rock as its evolution Rhyperior does, which makes it less bulkier than Rhyperior, even though it can have Eviolite. It's just something that Rhyperior could have got, or Rhydon could have gotten that Rhyperior had, but it's all in all whatever. Next up we had Togedemaru, which I believe he had traded. Let me look at this. I need to check back with his original team. He had Bufalon over this. So with Togedemaru, he had a little bit of diversity with Togedemaru because Bufalon would have only been like an offensive hitter, whether it be bulky or speedy. And then Togedemaru has some sort of offensive pressure with like Zing Zap, Iron Head, U-Turn, moves like that. And then Togedemaru has some defensive capabilities with like Toxic, Spiky Shield, Nuzzle, moves like that. Next up, he has Luxray, which I really do not see this thing coming, but it could be like an offensive hitter because it has base 120 attack. Even though it's not very fast, it can still provide a good offensive pressure with what it could do. Also expect this thing, if it would come, to be like a gut set with like Flame Orb or Toxic. And then finally he has Chatot, which I do not expect this thing to come, but it would be very scary if this thing was Scarf and it had Boom Burst and Chatter, because it would be like a Pokemon that would chip down my team just a little bit to where something else can come in and just sweep my team. Of course, I already did this battle, so I know exactly what to come, but I'm not going to say it because that would be spoilers. But anyways, here's my team for what I bought. Here we have Larana, the Greninja. I decided to run Mystic Water because I did not want to have any sort of... I did not want to have a big boost, but I did want to have some sort of boost within my Water type moves. Scald, Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, and Ice Beam. Scald and Dark Pulse were basically stab moves. Water Shuriken gave me a form of priority to deal with Rhydon if it decides to set up with Rock Polish and Swords Dance, so that way it would just die instantly with Water Shuriken. And Ice Beam is a good coverage move that I do have in place for his Tacturn he originally had. Also hits Rhydon, hits Chatot, but now I have ability to hit the Mega Sceptile that he does now have on his team. And the speed, I ran max special attack, ran enough speed to where I'd outspeed an Adamant plus 2 Adamant Rhydon who has Rock Polish, and I outspeed it by 1, and I put the rest in HP investments. Next up, I have Acero, the Registeel, running a SPDF, max HP, max SPDF set, with leftovers, Clear Body, Seismic Toss, Stealth Rocks, Toxic, and Protect. Seismic Toss really hits everything on his team since he does not have the little Merak anymore, but I did not see him being Drift Blim, so that's something coming for Registeel. Stealth Rocks provide me good hazard control or hazard setting, and the Toxic just will down to any sort of bulky Pokemon he has. Like for instance, if he had Mega Autono, it would help out so much. But this could really help me out against facing against Slowking that he does have. And then Protect is just scout whatever move he has, and also just clear my force move syndrome. Next up, I have Enojado, the Cryogonal, Never Melt Ice, boosting my Freeze Drive. Also carrying Hidden Power Ground, Defog, and Toxic. Running Toxic a whole lot because it just helps chip down his team a whole bunch. Freeze Drive is just stab, helps me deal a whole lot better with Tentacruel and Slowking. Hidden Power Ground also deals with the little Merak that he has, but now it could help with the Combuskin. He also deals with Rhydon, Togedemaru, Luxray, just things like that. Defog, I just wanted something to remove hazards, so I decided to bring Cryogonal with it. And then I have Toxic just because I couldn't find anything else to add, so I just put that on him. 216 allows me to outspeed the Tentacruel by 2. I couldn't go any less than that because he tied with it, so I would add a little bit more EVs, and I'm now at speed where I outspeed him by 2. I added 188 special attack because I believe I 3-hit KO a max HP AV Slowking with this. And I just put the rest in HP investments, so I add a little bit more bulk to Cryogonal. Next up, I decided to bring Ursula, making his debut, the Earthswing, with a Toxic Orb Quick Feat set with Facade, Crunch, Earthquake, and Protect. Now with this, aside from the Deoxys speed, I outspeed everything because it's the fastest Pokemon. Aside from that, without the changes that he made, it would have outspeed everything on its team aside from the Deoxys speed. So I ran 216 speed. Because with Quick Feet, I'm able to outspeed the Tentacruel, but since he made his team changes, this set became less likely to use, or less likely to do, or could do less work, I should say. Running max attack and then 40 HP just to put some sort of bulk with it. Facade, Crunch, Earthquake, and Protect. Facade really hit everything on his team really hard. Crunch allows me to hit the low Marowak, hit the Slowking a little bit harder. And also ran Earthquake because it also is Alone Marowak, does a lot to Luxray, hits Rhydon a bit harder if it's on the defensive side, and because of the team changes, it hits Earthquake, hits Combuskin and Togedemaru now. But unfortunately, since the team changes, this Earthswing set became less likely scary to his team. Next up, I have Caliente, the Arcanine, running Expert Cell offensive set with Intimidate because I wanted something to deal with his physical offensive Pokemon. Running Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Close Combat, and Extreme Speed. Flare Blitz is all in all good stab move to carry. Wild Charge gives me coverage for the Tentacle and the Slowking, also the Moltres. Close Combat hits the Rhydon, hits the Cacturne if you bought it, hits... Actually, no, that's not probably it. And the Extreme Speed just gives me a form of priority. If we had the Lone Marowak, I would not be able to stay in with Arcanine with this set. But I do have other things that would be able to deal with it, so I felt like this Arcanine set would have been okay to buy with its original team. But with the team that I brought now, it's now a whole lot better to use. I ran 224 speed because it outsped the... Let me check the notes. It outsped Chatot, that's why. So if it was Scarf, then I wouldn't be able to speed it. But I outsped Chatot naturally if it had max speed and a timid or jolly nature. And then finally we have Aranya, the Araquanid, which this set allows me to trap the Deoxys speed I plan on seeing him to lead with. I have Papa Berry. If he decides to have a max special attack, run max special attack with EVs and like timid nature, then I'd be able to live and then have the Papa Berry ready to where I could live another one and then get at least back up to 50%. And then I Water Bubble just because it's the only ability that's pretty viable with Araquanid. Liquidation deals a whole lot to his team. It just one-shots a lot of his things. Even though I have this, I don't have like a lot of investments in it with an nature, but it still does a whole lot to his team. Infestation, like I said, this is meant to trap the Deoxys speed. Toxic whittles it down a little bit more. And Magikarp, if it decides to set up any sort of hazards, then I'm able to hopefully predict when he's going to set them up and bring those hazards back on his side of the field. And with the investments I have, the HP and Speed Def allow me to take a max special attack Psycho Boost from Deoxys speed, and then take another one to where I get my Papa Berry. The 180 and attack and adamant nature allow me to OHKO Lauren Marowak with max HP, but he doesn't bring it, so the EVs just are just there. And the speed allow me to outspeed a... I wrote this to have a 3 IV speed Mega Autono. I do not know why I wrote this, but this was This team I built probably about 3 weeks ago, but apparently I ran a bit of speed just so I could outspeed the Mega Autono, but that's beside the point. I think I was uh, was able to lower speed something besides the Trick Room. I think it was in preparation for like if we had Trick Room and had uh, something to be with Red still, but that's besides the point. Anyways, that's my team. Hopefully, y'all guys enjoy, and we'll see you all in the replay. Thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.